I saw a meme the other day that was poignant but misguided, and I feel compelled now to make a video explaining what I think about this. I had to chew on it for a little while to figure out exactly what was wrong. So the meme said this. It said, the idea that you have to work for a living, that you have to earn a living, that was the word earn, the phrase to earn a living suggests that you don't actually have a right to live. And that was kind of laid out as a critique of our society, and isn't that poignant? And it is pretty poignant. I mean, that's a really excellent use of words. But I want to break down some ideas there and show why I think that sentiment is misguided. Let's imagine for a moment, you look around and maybe you think, man, it seems unjust that I need to work to live, and I'm constantly working to pay the bills and keep the creditors at bay, and I feel squeezed by my employer, and I feel squeezed by the bills, and I feel squeezed by everything, and it's easy to feel resentment toward the society. So let's strip that back. Let's imagine for a moment that there is no society. None. Just you. Just you and the planet. Just you and the planet. Maybe you can even have the machines still here. All the benefit of thousands of years of human history, building up some wealth. And in that circumstance, do you have a right to live? What do you mean by a right? I mean, is there anyone trying to stop you from living? There are no other people, so strictly speaking, no one is trying to stop you from living. So you have a right to live that is unobstructed by any other human being. You are in a state of nature. And in that state of nature, the only way that you're going to live at all is by work. You're going to have to build your shelter or maintain it. You're going to have to grow your food or forage for it. No one is going to provide it for you. It's you, and just you. And this highlights something that I think is incredibly important to remember when we think about a right to a living, and when we think about wealth and money and this whole thing that we call the economy. When we talk about a right, let's say that you did have a right to a living. What are you actually saying there? What you're saying is that you have a right to someone else providing for you. And there are some people who have that right. We call them children. And those who are sufficiently like children, unable to take care of themselves. In that case, socially, yes, absolutely. My children do not provide for their own living. They don't grow their own food. They don't earn its value. They don't serve anyone and transact that service for the stuff that they're going to use. They don't. They rely on me to give it to them, purely out of the goodness of my heart, or out of a social obligation, or out of love. So if you have a right to life in the way that that meme says, earn a living, isn't that phrase so despotic and horrible? No, because you're not a child. And the world, it's beautiful out here, but the reason these trees are tall is because they are competing with all the other plants in this area, striving for sunlight to stay alive and shading out the lower plants. This nature is brutal, absolutely brutal. It's a war all the time. And we've managed to, as human beings, to civilize it a lot, to the point where our meat comes in plastic wrapped packages, and you go to work doing something that's almost certainly not related to growing food. And then you trade that effort for a paycheck, and then you trade that paycheck for all the necessities of your life. Kind of a bizarre system. But the boots on the ground reality of the farmers and this thing that we call the economy is that it's still man versus nature. It always has been. It always will be. We just subdivided it a lot, to the point where it's easy to lose track of that and not see it that way. Do you have a right for someone else to provide for you? If the answer is yes, you're either a child or you believe in slavery, meaning someone else has an obligation that's not reciprocal to provide for you, to expend their labor on your behalf. And I do not believe in slavery. I think that's wrong. I think you probably do too. I think most of us do. So is it despotic that you have to earn your own living? No, it's inconvenient. It's unpleasant sometimes. But it's honest. And it's better to be honest. Even if that is uncomfortable, and if it means recognizing a reality, meaning that nature is not going to provide for you. So if something is, that something is a person. Yeah. Thoughts about that? I think, hardcore, anarcho-capitalist libertarian philosophy does a terrible job explaining the rights of children, those kinds of positive rights, and, the rights of those who cannot provide for themselves. When I was, a few years ago, I broke both legs in a motorcycle accident and spent some time in a wheelchair. And, I could not provide for myself in any way. One anthropology professor, there's this other really good meme that I saw. An anthropology professor was asked what the first sign of civilization was. And students were going to expect, the invention of fire or something like that. And she said the evidence for the first evidence of civilization was a pre-human skeleton with a broken femur that had healed. And she argued that because the femur had healed, that indicated that other members of this creature's group had taken care of it when it was not able to provide for itself or for other members of the group, where there was nothing reciprocal about that. It was a gift. I think we do need to take care of those who cannot provide for themselves, but if you are capable, it is unethical to expect someone else to take care of you, because that means you're expecting other people to expend their labor on you for nothing, which is effectively the same argument as slavery. Gross, right? Yeah. Where's that line? Can you tell if somebody else needs to provide for themselves or has that ability? I mean, you can. You can. Compassion and honesty. I think we can reconcile both of those things. The honest truth is that nature is out to get us and that it takes work to live. Compassion requires that we take care of those who can't, particularly children. If you enjoyed this video, or if it gave you something to think about, or if you want to argue with me in the comments or share your thoughts about this, I welcome that. I love corresponding with you guys in the comment section. It's delightful to get to know you a little bit and to, participate in a conversation. This is one small, tiny branch of the great conversation where we're trying to figure out life, the universe, and everything. I love you guys. Talk to you later.